Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with the Visible Image Artist Trading Card Swap for January 2025. It's actually only the 1st of January when I'm recording this, but I'm going on holiday next week and I thought I'd get this done. The topic for this month is winter blues, and we've been asked to make blue the main colour of this. I won't have a winter theme as such, but I decided to use this lilies stamp because I haven't used it before. I saw it being used, so I bought it and I thought, well, lilies in winter, well, I'm sure you can buy them. So I thought I'd use this one. And the technique I'm using, I have used it lots of times and it's actually one of my favourite techniques, but sometimes I forget about these things. I try something new, and it is called an emboss resist. So I'm going to do some heat embossing and then I'm going to apply some colour, and the heat embossing will resist this colour. I have got my stamp in my stamping platform already. I've rubbed it a little bit because I haven't used it before, and I've got my anti-static powder tool here. For the ATC, I could have just cut a small piece of cardstock and then just heat embossed that, but I will actually stamp a bigger piece and then decide afterwards which area of that I will use. So I've got my Versamark embossing ink here, and I'm just inking this whole stamp up. Sorry about the reflection of my lamp there. So I'm making sure I've got enough ink on there, and then I will just stamp this on here. So there are two ways of doing that. I have done it in the past with clear embossing powder, which is nice if you want the colour of your cardstock to come through. But because I'm doing it on white anyway, I just use my white embossing powder. So the clear is sometimes a bit nicer if you have got a lot of spray and you don't want this to show. But with the Visible Image, you always have got this sort of grungy look anyway. Oh, it's very sticky because it's already moved, so I can't see much, but I'm just tipping this. Sorry about that. I'm just doing this a little bit away from the microphone because it's very noisy opening this box. So I'm just dipping this into there, and I'll just put the stamp set on the side on it, so I hope I'm not harming anything here. I've not smudged anything. Try to contain it in the box, but it looks great already. I'll show you that in a second. Although this is a fine embossing powder, I find it's always a little bit coarse. So can you see I've got a bit of excess there. I'll give it another dab as well. So I will heat set this off camera, and because my cat is sleeping behind me, I even have to do that in another room. And I'll do it again for the main card because I want to have a matching card to go with this, and then I'll show you how we apply the colour. So my stamped image is heat set. I heat set it from the back, made sure it was all shiny, and then I went in from the front as well just to make sure, and I left it to cool as well. That's important. So I have got my spray box out, which is basically a shoe box that I've cut open on the front, and I can spray in here without messing up my desk. I've also put some paper underneath here, just some scrap paper, and I have got two dinkles out here. You can do loads of things. You can do some ink blending, you can do some ink smooshing on it, but I thought I'd just use my dinkers, and because the theme is winter blues, I just got these two blues out, Blue Dragon and Sea Blue. And all I'm doing with this is just sprinkling it all over. I should have opened these off camera. So I'm just dabbing this on there. Let's just get a tool. Oh, I've got a pencil here. You theoretically don't need a lot, but I just like to be generous with it. And you can use any sort of pigment powder as well. Doesn't have to be the Dinkles. I've also got some brushes, actually, just thinking about that. But these are the difference between the brushes and the Dinkles is that these are really, really vibrant, and I like that. So I definitely have got plenty on here. So on the side here, I've got my water spray bottle, and the reason why I've got this spray box is as soon as I apply the water, this colour will spray as well. The pigments will be sprayed away with the water, and that's why I need this. So I'm just lightly spraying, keeping a little bit of a distance, deciding on the way how much I want. I think I just leave this for a moment, see what happens, and then I can decide if I want to apply more water. You can see it's like the so-called explosion powders as well. The colours do spread. It also bends a little bit, so if you've got too much water, it might sort of run to the side. Just having a look now. So I want a bit more of a solid colour, because if I've got too much white on it, the resisted or the embossed image won't really show. So I definitely need to apply more water and loosen more of these pigments, and maybe the camera picks it up how instantly you've got the contrast of the blue against the white. So I might not bother too much about the corners there, because obviously I will cut the image out. So, and it's really up to you how much water you want to apply. You can make it run even more. Just want to show you what happens if you do that. See, the picture pops even more. And I love when it starts running and you've got this sort of movement there. So yeah, I think I just leave this to dry for a moment. When I find it's sort of run enough and spread enough, I can get some kitchen towel, which I forgot to bring in, and can dab this off, because the white embossing powder here does resist the Dinkles. But as I said, I'll leave it to run for a moment. I think I just switch the camera off and get the kitchen towel to show you what I'm doing. So I've tried to zoom in a little bit as well, so you can see sometimes you get blobs like that. I wouldn't want that anyway, so I would take that off and dab that off a little bit. But as I said, once I'm happy with it, I will try to take some off. So you can either go over it with a whole piece and just dab it on like that, but you might end up with a bit of the pattern on it. So I think I will just dab this sort of randomly and keep with a sort of, you know, do some sort of dappling, I think it's called. Just try not to put my fingers too much in it, because I do stain the finger. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. But I think one thing I will do whilst I've got it in the spray box, I do have my own shimmer spray. This is some silver watercolour that comes in a little palette. It's on my list of products that I use, and I just took a little bit of that and dissolved it in the water, and this gives a lovely silver shimmer. Oh, just a little bit too much there. Where it first came out. Don't know if the camera picks it up. It's absolutely amazing. Maybe give that another little bit. I always think about the edges there, but I don't need to bother about that really. But it gives a lovely look, and it mixes with the Dinkles as well. So I'm leaving this to dry, and I'm doing the other one the same way, and then probably off camera I will decide which piece I will use, because I only need 2.5 inches by 3 inches, so I might go maybe for this area. I wouldn't bother about the bottom bit here, because I want most of the flower there, so probably look at that. And I think that's all I really want to do to it. I don't want to add anything else. I think there is enough going on with the Dinkles, so I might add a sentiment on a separate strip. I'll have a think about that. I'm just popping in to show you something. Obviously, you could create a background with brush hose and then heat embossing over this. But the ink resist causes the water with the dinkles to basically pool inside, the individual petals there, and the colour is more concentrated there, and I really, really like the look of that. It's been a few hours and my panels have dried nicely, and I've cut the ATC down, and I just wanted to show you the silver does come off a little bit, but not much, and I really like the look of this. I have also stamped on a separate scrap piece of, this was an ink smooshed background with a bit of silver. I stamped the Happy New Year. Well, it was let me just show you the stamp set. It's the go-to words. So oops, sorry about that. Some white underneath. So I just cut the Happy New Year out because I didn't want the and a. Oh, sorry, it's the Christmas words actually, it's not the go-to words. And at first I thought I cut a second one, stamped the second one, cut it, and I thought I'd just have a New Year on the ATC, but for me that was just too much. I actually like the ATC as it is, but I thought for the main card that would look nice here at the bottom. But I have decided, and this is a little bit inspired by what I showed you earlier, where I've got the darker areas here. I want to show you how you can enhance the dark areas if you want to. And I've got a bit of scrap cardstock here left. I should actually find the piece that is still embossed. And I've got some of my Kuretake blue pens, and I can check a little bit what colour they are. You can also, if you want to, add more shimmer with a shimmer pen. See, I don't want to go that dark, but I think this one would look nice. And that's also water reactive, so this would enhance the look. You will obviously cover the little specks a little bit, but I think I would just like to colour the actual flowers in and have a bit of variation to the background. I'm not worrying about staying within the lines because, again, with the embossing powder, this is not difficult at all. And I'm basically just making these areas a little bit darker and help the flowers to stand out a little bit more. So I shall continue with that just off camera, just to get a bit more colour down. I might find another blue pen, and maybe on the main card I also come in with I've got a shimmer pen in a blue. I'll show you that as well, I think. So just wanted to show you this shimmer pen. I don't know if these are still available. It's a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and it basically has got blue sparkle. I've got them in loads of colours, and they're amazing. I know that is something that Lavinia have started stocking, which are like shimmer pens, but I think there might be Wink of Stella brand. So basically same thing, different brand. And so you've got the sparkle with it and the darker colour. I think I will actually continue using this, but as I said, the zig pens are also an idea. What's left for me to do now is any excess that sits on top of the embossing powder, I need to just take that off, and I just do that with some paper here. You can do that with kitchen towel or anything that's absorbent, really. So you can see it comes off there, because that's not going to dry. Sorry about my camera wobbling. Yeah, there we go. So I'm really happy with them. You could also buff it a little bit with some with a cloth, but I think this is fine. So I just leave these to dry just a little bit because I've got quite a bit of ink on there now, and then I will just stick the sentiment down and put this on the card basis. This is 4x6, and this obviously the ATC. Yeah, I think these look really lovely and match the theme wonderfully. Winter blues. Yeah, and if you like these too, you might want to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. and I'll see you soon with another video.